Hey, welcome back to the channel, good friends. I've been filming a series of videos that we could send the link to my customers along with aftercare paperwork and packets that they get to help with myths, misconceptions, what to expect with their protectant. And I've been covering paint correction, sealants, ceramic coatings, and paint protection film. And today's video is going to be about paint protection film. You guys can download this video if you want to, and if you find it helpful, and edit it, cut it up, splice it in any way possible to use it as a guideline for protection that you give to your customers as well. You have my permission to do what you want if you want to. But this video will break down misconceptions, what to expect with paint protection film, what it does, and what it can't. Okay, so if you're watching this video, you have received one of our premium protection packages at Apex Detail, and I want to talk about paint protection film. It is one of the most misunderstood ways to protect your vehicle out there, along with ceramic coatings. And today I'm going to break down what it can do and what it cannot do. So let's get started with this short video on misconceptions and expectations for your protectant. And I do want to urge you to follow your aftercare packet that you receive from us upon picking up your vehicle. The protection you received at your visit today to Apex Detail will help guard against rock chips, marring, some scratching. It will not protect against door dings and accidents and minor incidents where you get bumped into. It has its limitations. It can do an excellent job, and there is nothing that can top it when it comes to protected your painted surface from rock chips, but there is a limit as to what it can protect your paint from. And let me take you and show you what it can protect your vehicle from. There are self-healing characteristics on the film, along with hydrophobics and gloss and slickness. And we're going to go over to a vehicle. I want to show that to you right now. This hood has a piece of scrap paint protection film that is matte or satin or stealthy and also glossy. You can see the edges here. At 8 mils thick, the film can do a great deal guarding your paint from rock chips. It's never too late to lay down film, but if a vehicle already has miles to it, those would need to be repaired as best as possible, but you're always going to have those marks locked under the film in one way or another. That may cause a little bit of an air pocket, and you may see that on the film. If you have a brand new car with no rock chips whatsoever, that is the best canvas to start with if you want to keep your paint looking perfect throughout the years. Paint protection film is wonderful for helping to fight against impacts against the paint. Now, it does have its limitations, but as thin at 8 mils, this soft material, flexible material, does do a great job. And I am having to put down some serious force to get the screwdriver to puncture the film. Now, these films can take a lot of abuse for a long period of time, but they are not impervious. They're not invincible. When you buy film, you're buying protection, not invincibility. There will be a limit as to the size of the flying object that comes in contact with the film that's guarding your paint, where it will not be able to hold up, and it may puncture and go through or even dent the surface. So you need to know that. Let me give you a demonstration of what this can do to guard your paint. This is a jagged rock. Ladies and gentlemen, can you imagine what would have happened to your paint if you would have done that without the protection of paint protection film? Well, let me bring you in close, show you what it did to the film, pull that back, and show you how it preserved your paint. Now you understand why I picked a scrap piece. Here we have impacts that put a divot in the film. That was already there under, I believe those were two, but here and here. That's the only one that remained, the one that already existed. Look at that. Did it go through? No. Is there a divot in the film? Yes. You would need to decide at that point if it bothered you that much that the film was damaged, which that's what it's there for, to take that abuse, and it's going to get beat up over the years. It's going to get beat up a lot more than that. I personally would leave it on there and let it get beat up more and more and more. And when it gets to a point where I can't stand it, which would be much more than the abuse that this took, then you can replace it. So paint protection film will last. It has a warranty of 10 to 12 years, depending on the manufacturer you go with. I'm going to tell you, I wouldn't let it on a vehicle for more than 6 years. I would replace it, move on from it, or pull it off at the 6-year mark. My friends, besides rock chips and impact from flying objects, paint protection film does a great job guarding the paint from marring, light to moderate marring, scratching. And let's go back over to that hood and another piece that I put on there, and I can demonstrate that as well for you. That, by the way, has its limitations as well. It's all common sense. Let's go over to the hood. So I have another piece down, and we have a brush with very stiff bristles. Now, on your car paint, which is soft and thin nowadays, would you do this? No, I think not. Not sure if you're going to be able to see, but there are scratches and marring in there. Let's see if I can get some into an area here that you can see. Well, it does a great job without even showing. But what I want to do is get it deep enough into, there we go, there we go. Now I know you can see that. Heat gun hair dryer, turn it on, and just go back and forth. Warm up the film. You don't want to melt it, but you want to get it warm enough that it activates the self-healing characteristics and properties of the film. And there we are. That's just a little bit of moisture, which you can, I wanted to point that out as well. You can expect a little bit of moisture to be trapped under the film. As it cures, those will go away. I just threw this piece on real quick to show you, give you a bit of a demonstration, but the marring's gone. It does have self-healing capabilities. Now, those self-healing capabilities have their limitations, obviously, and they also have a life cycle, a time of about 3 years or so before I personally see that most of these films, that characteristic starts to fade a bit. And you wouldn't want to go ahead and do that on the surface after about 3 or 4 years. They would probably stay permanent at that point. All of that abuse with the scratching with the brush. The paint underneath, besides some small rock chips, is pristine. So it gives you a little bit of an idea of what film can do and what it can't do. And there are some things to expect after you get your car back from a fresh installation. The moisture bubbles that I showed you there are normal and they will go away. Sometimes there are air pockets that are trapped underneath the film as well. If you see those, let the installer know. The smaller ones, sometimes they go away. If they remain, the installer will remove it completely for you and they will be gone. Also, edges and seams, when they are fresh, keep an eye on them. If you see that they're starting to pull back, especially on bumpers and areas on a vehicle where there are some real pronounced shapes and peaks and points. Take, for example, a C8 Corvette bumper, how pointy that is and how drastic the shapes. And the film can conform to those shapes to a certain point. But film cannot cover all of these different shapes completely without some seams and some lines. You need to be prepared for that. The edges of films can get dirty. They need to be cleaned. And that's why you need to follow your maintenance regimen that is laid out for you in great detail in your packet that you get with when you pick up your vehicle. So pay attention to that and you will be perfectly fine. When you see something that just doesn't look right with the film, don't panic. Don't try to fix it yourself. Don't pick at it. Don't push with your finger into it if you find a bubble. A lot of these things that you think you can fix may leave permanent marks. Make an appointment or stop back with your installer immediately, and that can be taken care of in no time at all. Let's move on to the next segment where I can give you ideas of coverage packages and different ways to protect your car, different levels. There are shops that will install at different levels, from intermittent to professional, tear your car apart, dismantle, and give you a perfect clean installation. And there are many that are in between. So a partial front end is a great place to start. I always recommend for my customers to protect their cars at the most vulnerable areas with paint protection film and coat the rest. Some customers will decide to put protection film on their whole vehicle. A partial front can include just a bumper, full hood, or bumper partial coverage of each panel, like they'll have a piece that partially covers the fender, partially covers the hood. The only problem with that is you will see a line going across if you're at the right angle. With the newer films, it's a little bit harder to see that line, but it will be there depending on where you stand. A full front is going to be everything from the windshield forward. That's called the front clip. Track package is going to be the entire front clip, A-pillars, mirrors, lower doors and rockers. And depending on the lines in your vehicle, that's where we're going to stop. Like, we would love to blend it into a line here or here, because then the edges of the film are barely visible when you blend them into a peak or a body line. And it will come all the way back through the back of the vehicle. That's a track pack. Some get a track pack plus doors. And then some go ahead and paint protection film on the whole vehicle, and that is a possibility, but it's very, very expensive. No matter what you have, there's always going to be a chance of an edge being damaged through the wash process. Follow the guidelines within your aftercare program and packet. If you're washing your vehicle, keep a pressure washer or hose away from the edges. You don't want to pick up an edge and blow it water underneath there. That will ruin the film. You can cut film because pressure washers have a ton of pressure, obviously. Also, do not run it through tunnel washes and car washes. Automatic tunnel washes will destroy your film. Also, just like ceramic coatings and just like every material on this planet, paint protection film needs to be maintained. If you want to get it through the full warranty period looking incredible, follow the maintenance program and stop back for your maintenance visit here at Apex Detail or wherever you had your film installed. Special chemicals to keep the film clean, keep the edges clean, and toppers to put on top of them as we send the vehicles back to you. Two phrases I would love for you to keep in mind. It's science, it's not magic, and also it's protection, not invincibility. I'm Brian from Apex Detail. If you would like to schedule an appointment for a free quote, or if you are ready to pull the trigger on paint protection film and protect your investment, because cars and trucks are huge investments, maybe not the very best investment, so why not preserve it for years to come with either a coating or paint protection film? Get a hold of us, give us a call, message us, email us, schedule an appointment for a free quote. You can get a hold of us through our website as well, and I hope the videos help. Brian from Apex Detail, catch you later.